Hello?
You got the question, sir?
Yeah, can you repeat that, Prince? I got a bad line from your side. Sorry.
Okay. So how can management be validated in a business where there is huge gestation period, which leads to optically poor ROE, ROCE, and cash flows initially? So any pointers to screen management would be helpful around this.
Okay, great. Great. I think that's a great question. So, see, what we do is, like I said, we have our portfolio broadly around two things. Most of our portfolio is really around compounding. But even in our compounding bucket, we cut our portfolio broadly into two sub buckets. One is what we call clear leaders. An example of a clear leader would be, say, an HDFC Bank or an ICICI Bank. And an example of an emerging leader might be, a small and or a mid cap company. So what we do is that when we first, we're all making probabilistic bets, right? None of us knows the future for certainty. So what we do is we categorize a company into one of four buckets. We call it internally phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four. But to use an analogy, think of it as a phase one bucket is somebody who's like a club cricketer. Think of phase two as somebody who's a Ranji cricketer. Phase three think of somebody who's been selected to play for India. And phase four, think about somebody who's like a Virat Kohli. Not only has he played for India, but he's been around for a while and is a complete champion. So what we do is that when you're buying a company which is say a phase one or a phase two company, club cricketer or a Ranji cricketer, this is not meant pejoratively. This is just a relative skill set. First thing you would do is that we would never take a very large position in some of these companies, right? So everything is a hypothesis, everything is a bet. And as you see management scaling up, you would increase the size of the bet. So to give you an example, a phase one, we tend to buy not more than 15 or 20 positions. So a phase one company would never be more than 3% of the portfolio. A phase two company might be four or five. A phase three might be six to eight. And a phase four might be, 10 to 12 or something like that. So the way we evaluate managements is that we look, we stay with them for a while. So you would never take a very big position, like a 6 or 8% position in a company where you've not interacted with the promoter for at least, 2 years or so. So first is just give it a bit more time because then you see you've got a lot more data points to understand how the company is doing. You never really understand a company till you've actually lived with this company for a while. I mean, one of the things that I'm always surprised by is how much more we discover about a company after we've invested in it, and then you are tracking the company over time. So the first one is you just have to give it some more time and don't take such a big position that it makes you lose your patience upfront. The second one, and which I have found as a big difference between small and mid cap promoters when we think about where to categorize them, is the granularity with how they are thinking. So we have some companies in our portfolio where we see the promoters investing based on a lot of big picture thinking. You build the plant and things will happen and the demand will come. And there are other people who are able to explain to you in a far more granular manner how they think life is going to unfold for them, when they do a capital expansion. So, what we have learned is always to back the guy who's thinking in a lot more granular manner. We are always looking for people who are adding to a management team. So I'm not in the camp that says one should bet on professional CEOs and family ownership is bad. I think some families make for great companies to invest in, but we all need to evolve with time, right? All of us as individuals need to evolve with time. So the other thing we are looking for is that how is the family evolving? Do you see them adding to management depth, or is the family still wired in a way that they can do everything by themselves? So I would say, I find these two metrics very useful, other than the categorization and the position sizing, looking at how the family itself is building talent in the company. And second is the granularity with which the promoter is thinking.